Okay. Okay. I guess we are live. So, good evening, guys. My name is Coach Ray, together with
Denis,
Jedi Master himself. So, welcome to another episode of The Voice of Armwrestling. This is episode number 8. What a crazy weekend we had.
Oh yeah.
This was like armwrestling dessert heaven. I don't know how another way to say it, but it was amazing. We're gonna get into everything. So before that, I want to say thank you for everyone who give us support, who give us good feedback or criticism on everything that we're doing. So we started doing interviews. I think Giannis is really good at those, and people are really enjoying it. Giannis is blushing; he's shy, but I think the interviews are a new thing that we're gonna do here. And anyway, thank you everyone who came up to us and said that watch this channel, videos, Voice of Armwrestling podcast. So we're improving. A lot of good things are coming, I think, for 2019, but 2018 isn't over yet. So before we get into things, anyone who's near Latvia or Lithuania, there's competition next week. I will put link
1st December.
December 1st on Alytus, so it's
Lithuania.
In Lithuania. I will put the link in description of this video after we finish this episode. So there will be categories, everything. We know that team from Kazakhstan are coming, so don't be afraid. But it's a good way to test if you're on world level, because we know that Kazakhs are one of the strongest nations in arm wrestling that there is. That's going to be interesting. So I will put link in description. You can find it there. Other thing, so everyone who enjoys the things that we're doing, please leave a like under this and any other video that you watch. It really helps us to get videos out there. We want to bring more people into arm wrestling, so more people who are not arm wrestlers can find this channel and learn more about arm wrestling. I think it's time.
It's time.
It's time.
It's 9 evening here in Latvia. I just finished my workout.
And I'm a little bit ill, as you can tell. I did nothing. I was super lazy.
Blood is more in muscles and in my stomach, because I did also some quick meal after than in my brains. But we will do our best.
So Zloty Tur 2018. In my opinion, the best Zloty Tur it's been. From all the aspects, from everything that we're looking. I know there was some stuff that didn't work behind the scenes, like they have problems with live streaming, but I think in any other way, it lived up to any expectation. And
if we talk about Zloty Tur, if we talk about Igor's event. I think every year, starting from year 2000, when he did the first ever Zloty Tur, every year you can say it was the best Zloty Tur we have been. It's getting better. Quality is rising. It's always super professional. It's always finding new ways how to make it better for athletes, better for spectators. It's growing. It's getting better and better. I think it's the most professional event in the world of arm wrestling.
In my opinion, I can totally agree to that. Just 18 years, and each year they make it better. Igor really loves arm wrestling. He has put so much time and his own money into this to make it so big. So 18 years.
We were talking with Igor, and then also we did some interview with Igor.
It's gonna be a little bit later interview. It's will be in Russian, but we will do subtitles on English.
Yeah, and Igor, we asked about how much money he still invests in this project and in arm wrestling, and he said it's still not a business for him. He's still investing in arm wrestling, and last Zloty Tur. How much it cost for him?
So you don't just look at the whole event.
Yeah.
You don't look at 1-2 days.
And,
of
it's not about question about prize money. It's all
it's
event.
about everything. So it was year of preparation, year of doing interviews with athletes. It cost them about $500,000.
Yeah.
So that's for arm wrestling. It's so much money to be put in so much quality.
Yeah.
Like I remember when I went to the first one, it was about 3 years ago. It was completely different.
Yeah.
Now the level has been it's different level.
And it's 25 people
working every day,
full time
every day
job in Igor's organization. It's not only him, of course. It's 25 people, and it's growing. And it was at least 100 people working in Zloty Tur's event to make everything happen. So it's huge. It's huge.
25 each day, and 100 were on competition day. 100 people were working security and everything else, and it's something else. They really created something completely different. And everyone who will do any kind of big tournament, they need to step up their game. Yeah.
Mm-hmm. If we remember, like this time, Igor is a man who were able to organize Denis and Devon. Probably arm fight of a decade, but even before 2000, he get all like 2004, John Bresnan, Travis Bagent, Alexei Voyevoda,
he's done
Ron Bass.
Alexei Voyevoda did his comeback, and everyone was waiting for his comeback. So he made it happen. So
Later in 2000, middle of 2010, always again John Bresnan, Denis Siplenko, Andrei Pushkar. So he always gets best arm wrestlers. He always are able to organize like those fights between East and West, like best Europeans against best North Americans. And what I like about Zloty Tur, what I like about this professional arm wrestling federation, or how it's called, professional arm wrestling promotion, they have really clear understanding where they are going. They have
to get there.
They have good future plans. And they have clear vision what they want to achieve in sport of arm wrestling, and where they want to bring this arm wrestling. So they every year when they finish one competition, they already know what they want to do next year. So again, we were talking with Igor, and already he's talking about plans for next year.
Top eight.
How they will manage all the competition, qualification, rating system. So it's growing.
So we will do Riga Open about in February. We will talk about that event on these podcasts a lot, I think, to make sure you guys come. And it's going to be part of this system, of Igor's system, that will qualify you to go to Zloty Tur, because he's making some changes. And one more thing, there were so many competitors. Each class was 20 plus, except the girls, but it was so crazy, such crazy numbers.
And it's not just the numbers, it's quality.
It's quality. There were a lot of guys that were top level. Of course, there were some guys who just came to watch the event and compete. If you came this far, why wouldn't you compete? But the quality and the fights were so much. It was like all the time you had something to see. Like you can go and talk to some of the best athletes in the world, but also there's a match that's crazy going on.
And also about arm wrestling fans. There are real arm wrestling fans in Zloty Tur. And we met people from Lithuania, from Latvia, who even don't do arm wrestling. We don't know them, and they just go to watch arm wrestling. And Igor says there are fans from Ukraine, Russia, Indonesia, Taiwan, Korea, so USA.
So there are people, and I think we never experienced this, who just came to event to watch arm wrestling. It's if you do tickets to go watch arm wrestling, no one's gonna buy those tickets except the athletes who already are competing. But first time ever, they sold.
It's
tickets.
not first time, they did it before.
But I think they sold out.
Yeah.
It's completely different when someone.
But those VIP tickets, it sold out.
Years before, there were a lot of people, but it wasn't sold out.
It's 250 euros, I think, for VIP.
Something
table.
like that.
250, and it's €10 ticket for regular.
Yeah.
And it's House is full.
VIP, we're sitting like right here. The tables are here, so you can feel the sweat coming from Devon and Denis, and that's the price. So it's congratulations, Igor, and all the people working on Paul.
All his team as
It was something completely different. We were really fortunate to go there to see it live, and the way they treated us, I think it was really good. We had all access. We could do whatever, and thank you one more time, and can't wait for next tournaments. Yeah. So let's go. Let's start with arm fights.
Yeah.
So let's talk about ladies maybe first.
Yeah, ladies was first.
So Marlena and Malin. Marlena was out of competition. She was too strong. There was nothing Malin could have done. And the day one, it was 6-0 on all three matchups. So I called everything completely wrong. I called everything completely wrong, and everyone was shocked that it went this way. So it was too dominant. So for ladies, there's nothing really to add there. Marlena was just too strong. The same way the Denis and Devon fight went.
Marlene were better, and I was supporting Marlene, and I wanted to see she could maybe take some match or even all fight, but in my mind I had Marlene as a favorite, and that's how it was. I said that Marlene will win, and she did.
It's really hard, but
she didn't went to World Championship. She was preparing good. She looked really strong, probably better than ever. She was in good shape.
The way she handled Malin, she's top one right now. I don't know what we did an interview with Fia. We will not say what Fia said about it.
Yeah, Irina Gladka is this year's world champion, and Fia Isaac was in second place. So maybe they could do something against, but Marlene.
Yeah. I think she
was really confident.
She will have another super match next year, so we'll see who they pick to have a match with her.
Yeah.
So Trubin versus Levan. Oh my God! Everyone was shocked. Everyone thought that at least the first few rounds or the last few rounds would go to Trubin. It was too much. Levan was so dominant, so strong. It wasn't the Levan that we saw in World Championship. A completely different person, confident.
Was he bigger? Was he bigger than in Worlds?
I think he was same or a little bit lighter, but his arms looked bigger than in Worlds. So
he looked more dry.
He looked more muscular. So he was extremely strong, too strong, and keeping in mind that Trubin won Pushkar in Moldova.
Yeah. For those who think Trubin was weak or Trubin is weak and not in shape, it was just a month or two ago.
Yeah.
He beat Andrei Pushkar twice in Moldova with right arm, and no, actually he couldn't do anything against Levan. Yeah. Levan was just dominant. Levan's arm. I think there was a moment where Levan's arm was over the center. His wrist was a little bit maybe moved, but his arm was like a wall.
Never. It didn't go over the center. He held everything there.
Yeah.
He was completely.
Never expected his back pressure, his side pressure was just. He was just overpowered.
Yes.
And. We were talking before Vendetta that Levan could be best in the world with left arm, and maybe he is the best. After this fight,
he's right there. Yeah.
There is a question who could beat Devon right arm as well.
So Levan, I want to see him pull Tsiplenko. I think that would be the matchup that we want. And I don't know how they're gonna do the top 8, but I'm really hoping that Tsiplenko is not going anywhere.
Yeah.
So we will see it, but Levan, different level. I think he's number 2. Let's say how it is. I think Tsiplenko right now is the favorite and a little bit better, but we will know only when we will see them one against another.
Mm-hmm. Trubin last year against Dave Chaffey. Reuben looked
the
not same. This year again against Levin 0-6 actually, and sometimes about Reuben there are questions that he
starts looking like bodybuilder.
Yeah. He's losing his arm wrestling ability. However, 2 months ago he beat Andrei Pushkar twice.
Yeah.
Maybe sometimes in some smaller competition when
but
no
we
one
don't
asked
know
for him.
how good was Pushkar at that point. You know, maybe he wasn't ready there, but and he was a little bit better. But he starts looking too much like a bodybuilder. All his Instagram is before the Vendetta. He did some arm wrestling training videos that we saw, but his traps and everything and delts and arms and chest, and it's looking more like bodybuilder. It's more
Levin was better in every position. It doesn't matter top roll, hook side. Levin was just stronger.
Much better. So
he was just stronger.
Congratulations to Levin. He's he
it was impressive.
Very impressive. He's right there, number one, number two with both arms, in my opinion. So he's right there in this spot.
Who's number one in ratings for? Okay, question. Who are making those ratings? But number one is.
Which
right arm.
Right arm. Chaffey.
Dave Chaffey.
But I think the Chaffey. But we will get to that. But I think the Chaffey that we saw on Vendetta would have lost to Levin. Yeah.
You can never know.
Yeah, we need to know, guys. So, Igor, make it happen. We will say the matchups we want to see. Make it happen.
It will happen probably next year in a top eight.
Top eight. Not all of the matchups that we want to see, but the strongest will go to the top. So the format is really good that they created. You will see it. Mazurenko will speak about it in the interview that we did. Also, there's an article on armpower.net that you can check out. So,
third
fight, Denis versus Devin. So we did a quick review that I think most of you guys already saw, and I don't know if we can add something. And you saw the interview that we did with Devin, and he admitted that he was much weaker than him, and I don't know right now if he can do anything really, like in a year that he can get to Denis level, but he will not stop. And people, so internet community is really weird. So much stupid comments are coming, and like he should retire. He's 43. Come on, Bresnan was still on top on that.
He's 50, and then Todd Hutchings at his 50.
You cannot say just because someone loses one match, they're done. Yeah, so he will keep inspiring people. Devon is such an awesome person. He's done so much for this sport. So he will keep on arm wrestling, as he said, until the day he dies. And he doesn't want to die anytime soon. So he's not done. It's just what happened. But Denis is completely different level. So, and people are... The second thing that gets me really frustrated is when people are commenting that they should have done right arm. I think it would be the same result. I don't think Denis is any way weaker with his right arm, and I don't think Devon is any way stronger, especially from what he said. He said that his left is the strongest arm.
In some positions he could be better with right, in some positions with left,
but
maybe some control or something.
I want to see Devon pulling Vitaly or someone like that, and then going back, and maybe if he starts beating these guys that are actually really strong, because he's been having some. He fought against Matt Mass that he has fought for 20 years, close to that. So he needs some other challenges that will bring him out.
That like we said before, like if Devon will come the same shape he was when he pulled against Matt Mask, when he pulled against Michael Todd, he will not have a lot of chance to beat Denis.
But when he beats them, just by not feeling them like Denis, he didn't feel him.
And what we saw in Poland, we can say arm wrestling is a strength sport. It's a strength and power sport. This time, those super physically strong athletes won. Levin, Denis. So if you want to be a good arm wrestler,
You need to
go and get stronger.
Get stronger.
Get stronger.
Yeah.
That's also what's. Devon is an arm wrestler, like always who want to be in control, and he's finding points and working. But if the strength difference is so big, question is can you do something against that with tactics, with techniques, with this intelligence, especially
he tried to do everything.
Especially if Devon, if Denis is not a newcomer arm wrestler, and he also knows and understands what Devon is doing. He understands his game. So I was talking with Devon. We were sitting before fight, and actually Devon wasn't 100% sure what about his plans for a match. He still couldn't decide to go for top roll and really
maybe
try to work
tricep press.
Yes, to really work on his hand, on his wrist, and maybe just different opposite, go really close and with triceps try to get on his angle, on his biceps.
Yeah. But he was too strong.
But he tried everything. At first he tried to go for hand, then he tried to go for and
Dennis stopped him everywhere he went. Dennis stopped him. He didn't play his game. He's much stronger at that day.
I was talking with Hadzemurat Zaluyev, and he said that Devon needs to go in a king's move, so-called king's move, that he need to try to go under table and to stop Denis in this position, especially. Devon knows how to do this also king's move, that he need to try this, but it's also
Dennis might have broken his arm.
It could be dangerous to try this against
he was
Denis.
Just too strong. The seventh round where it was really nice and humble from Denis that he allowed him. Just he said, okay, let's do one more.
Yeah.
Devon was like trying, like really like hell, and Denis had nothing in his face. So he was much stronger. The question is answered. Denis is stronger than Devon.
Yeah.
So what we will see next is what more interesting to me, because everyone can talk about this matchup, but we already saw what happened. I want to see what's happened next in a year, in 2 years. Can he get back? Because right now he's down and he needs to get stronger, because I don't think he will take anyone more lightly. He needs to the guys that were on Vendetta, cool, crazy.
For those who say that Devon should retire, I would say that Devon is a smart, educated arm wrestler and person, and he will learn from that match. He will analyze this, and he will get back to table smarter, stronger, and better prepared next time. And this is a weak people psychology. If you lose, you give up.
No.
You don't have to give up. You should learn.
This is arm wrestling, baby.
Yeah. There was a really good citat from Engin Terzi, and it's actually from Muhammad Ali.
Yeah.
You don't lose when you get.
But when you get knocked out, you lose when you don't stand up.
When you stand up, so Devon will stand up, and he will get better. Also, question is, can Devon still be best in overall class? Maybe he don't need to go for those super heavyweights. His natural weight is 100, maybe 105. So
he was 120 here.
No, I don't think so. I think less.
Yeah, but he's so huge. So huge.
I think less. So he can still be best in 100 in 105 kilo class, and same as John Bresnan did in last few years. He was not pulling always in supers, but go in smaller class and still be best in your weight class. So
we will see what happens in next year. But the question is answered. Denis won in this fight, and he was much stronger. So
was Denis better arm wrestler?
Yeah.
He was much stronger arm wrestler.
But he also, in same sense, he was better arm wrestler. He was stronger.
He was much stronger. He
in
was
any
much stronger.
position.
And those who think Denis is tactically or technically weak, it's not true.
No.
He's using great what he can do and where he's working with his biomechanics, and he's doing everything really good.
People always think that strong guys are dumb guys. It's not the case for Denis. He did everything. He stopped at any position where Devon was going. So yeah.
It was like he allowed Devon to get in his strongest position, and then just beat him from that position. That's incredible.
Yeah. So we need to go further. So day 2 on super matches, Alex Kurdecha versus Scott Mendelson. So I thought that at least there would be something, but Kurdecha was the biggest Kurdecha I have ever seen. He was so big, he was so strong, and Scott couldn't do anything. So we know that this fight was made just because Kurdecha is Polish champion, and Scott is big name in arm wrestling. So they did,
and in strength sports.
In strength sport, not in arm wrestling, for powerlifting. So they did a good trick, mind trick. So this created something interesting for people to see. But the difference was, again, the same way there was Devon and Denis, the same way Levin and Reuben, Alex and Scott was the same level in difference in power. So there was nothing he can do. I really think he should, next year, if they give him Vendetta, don't come to Vendetta, compete in class, try to get some wins. And then
it's not because Mendelson is a weak arm wrestler.
Yeah.
He's
learning,
better. And he actually is a good level arm wrestler. But Kurdecha
was much
maybe
better.
At the moment is
right there
top 10 heavyweight in the world, and he was second.
Second in 95 plus, I think.
Yeah, he was second in heavyweights in Moldova with some good names. He's a world class arm wrestler. He's getting better. He's really strong arm wrestler.
Just maybe against anyone else from heavyweights that are not that high level, Scott could have done something, but here it was just 6-0. So let's get to another one. So Bresnan and Bobo. So this was really exhausting to watch. It went kind of way that we thought it gonna went, but how it happened, it wasn't nice. And so there was no pins. 6 rounds, no pins.
6 rounds and no pin. And actually, it's not just 6 rounds. It's a lot of rematch, strap match, foul starts,
everything.
And
it was really frustrating to see. And the interesting thing that we saw on round 1, that Bresnan has really good start. He was fast. He was really fast. And second thing, that Bobo couldn't finish him. No. So I think this was really interesting matchup. And again, people are under videos on Global Arm Wrestling. They're leaving comments and saying that so the referee is stupid and referee this and so there are cameras on table where referees seeing. Referees that's on table, he can only see some things. He has a microphone and earpiece, and they tell him what's going on. So if there was a foul, he stops the match. So he did everything the referee should have done. The problem was with fighters. They couldn't leave their elbows on the pad. That's the problem.
With Tim, a lot of times he did false starts, and actually I think he lost fight or 2 with false starts as well. He's he's used to pull in the referee's grip, and the difference is in the USA when they do referee's grip, they are referee is closing one hand, referee is closing other hand, and in moment when he
takes off the arms,
it's a go. Here is a different referee close arms.
Check if everything's fine.
He still takes arms off. After a second or 2, it's go. Every time referee lift up her arms, Bresnan was starting the fight. So it was also a problem for him to just get used to rules they are using. Is it problem with referee? I don't know. It's there are always a question about this fall problem and how to deal with it. And for me, interesting would be who would win if referee would close the eyes a little bit and give athletes.
So here, I think it would be really good if they implemented running fouls in this matchup. I think in arm fights in general, running fouls would be more interesting.
Again, if athletes are not using the system as advantage and start to just elbow off the pad and bleeding out his opponent.
Like they did in Arm Wars. They don't allow this. If you don't put it back in second.
Yeah, it's like one, two.
It's gone. So it was really frustrating just to watch, and the audience and people weren't happy with this matchup just because of the way it went, and no one expected it would go this way. We were talking. No one said like, okay, Tim's gonna. Most of the guys said like Bresnan's gonna lose at some 4-2 or something, or 6-0.
Bresnan is always underdog, but he has some great wins against Alexei Voyevoda, Krasimir, Prudnik. So why not against Rustam Babayev? Why not? And he was really good to stopping and actually not in so good position, far angle, rotation lost. He was holding. He was holding and he was able to hold Rustam in his best position.
So we had interview with Rustam that's going to be up in next week, and he said that if he beats him, he wants to do something against another heavyweight. I don't think he's ready. He needs either he needs to get bigger or something else, because again, stylistically, maybe he can beat some other guys easily, but Bresnan was very uncomfortable for him.
Yeah, but Bresnan is he's very strong arm wrestler, and a lot of times people are not taking him enough seriously. He's really strong arm wrestler, and when he feels good, when he's ready, it's I believe for everyone he can give really a problem for everyone.
Can give a really good fight.
So, but it was for me in the second day. It was most interesting fight. I was waiting. I wanted to see, and actually,
it wasn't kind of disappointment but we saw a lot of things going on. But there was too much of elbows and too much of stopping. When it's getting too interesting, the fight stops.
It was great fight, which could be even better, even greater. I wouldn't say without those referee problems, but there was much more potential to be really great fight. But it was still good, and
it was still good.
Also those fight for this position, all those fast. It's all tactics. It's all tactics.
Because
Babayev was
playing smart. He was doing. He was. Basically provoking Tim to make mistakes, and at some points Tim played his game, some he didn't. So it was more tactical matchup than anything else, because the strength level was pretty even for them. It was really even. We didn't see any pins, so how even can it get? It was even as it was. So the final matchup, Gennady and Chaffey. So here everyone thought and I thought it's going to go 6-0. But so what I have heard and what we have heard, that Chaffey has some nerve damage.
We were talking about that before last episode, that he had a problem with his neck, and it's still not 100%. He has problems, but same. Gennady also.
Gennady is
also injured, and then he was able to do just the back pressure and just to hold on his angle. He couldn't work good side. He couldn't do any wrist curl. It was just the back pressure. But this back pressure was good enough actually to give Dave a really close match. It's 4-2. It's 4-2.
First 2 rounds were 100% Dave, in my opinion.
Yeah, but even in those first 2, Dave's wrist
started to open up.
It started
on the third one, he opened him.
Yeah.
And then it started to go. If there were more rounds, I don't see him winning any other rounds because Gennady was really, really good, and Dave didn't look as good as last year. So this is why when I said that I don't think he's number one, if we look at the day, I think Levin was much stronger than Dave, and just by looking how he pulled,
It's not easy to compare, but Gennady was really close every time. Was really close to top roll Dave. His difference
He
was
was
not so
trying.
big. It was not so big. And also what I always like about Gennady, he's like a predator.
Yeah,
He's
he finds a weakness and then he gets
and
more
when,
stronger.
when he feels that he can, his opponent is bleeding, he will go for that. He will not let that go. And when it was 3-1 for Gennady, we were standing together, and Devon was asking us about do we like bets. And actually, Devon said the fight after 3-1 when Gennady won the round. Devon said the fight will finish 3-3. Who would like to take a bet? And
unfortunately, we didn't.
Yeah, but mostly I didn't, because actually I also thought for real that it will end 3-3.
Yeah.
But it didn't. It ended 4-2.
He has so much energy on table, and right when he starts when you start bleeding, he, like you said, predator. He smells the blood and he goes for kill. So that's really close matchup. One of the most interesting matchups of all the Vendettas, in my opinion. So Gennady did good. Chaffey did everything he needed to do to win. So
they both were damaged. It was problem with neck and with some neurology for Dave. It's a problem with elbow, a problem with side pressure for Gennady.
Yeah. It is, but so 4 out of 6 ended up in 6-0 Vendettas and 2-4-2. So we expected at some that were going to 6-0 the other way, and some that went 6-0 that there would be more fights. So it's interesting. You never know what's going to happen. People were preparing for this event all year. They did amazing job promoting it, creating the buzz. And if you have a chance to go to these events, go to these events. And if you have a chance to buy pay-per-view, don't look at pirates on the internet who are doing live streams illegally. Buy the pay-per-view. It supports this sport. I had so many messages from people asking me, where can I watch it for free? So qualification, everything was free from Zloty Tur. Vendetta,
Armwrestling TV.
Yeah, and Open was for pay, but they did on day 2. They did on YouTube, Armbets TV YouTube channel. They did live stream there. So you should only pay for Vendettas, and everyone who just wants something for free but enjoys the sport, you're not helping it to grow. You're doing it the other way. So it was really uncool that there were so many people who were doing live streams online. We do not support it, and if you have a chance, go next year and watch it live, or Top 8 or Zloty Tur, because it's gonna be the best thing you have seen so far. I guarantee it. So let's get into regular tournament. So regular tournament. Everyone was so hyped up for Vendettas that they forgot that there's tournament, which was so crazy, so good, so many good armwrestlers, talents, and so many surprises. So we will start by the smaller classes and get into the big classes. So we'll start with 70 kilo class. On left arm, Engin Terzi, Enigma. He's just like, he was too strong with left arm. No one could do anything against him. It was easy victory for him. He
was pulling in walls in 65 kilo class. Now he did in 70 kilo class, and it is his first victory in Zloty Tur. he was doing his Zloty Tur some 10 years ago in 78 kilo class, and he was in third or second. He was I think second with left arm in a 78 kilo class, but no, this is his first victory in Zloty Tur, this time in 70 kilo class. Relatively easy. There was really good arm wrestlers in class. Same again, Mindaugas Tarasaitis, Imeda from Georgia,
Yeah.
60 kilo world champion.
Yeah, he went up to 70.
Moved up to 70 kilo class months ago.
I
he was
remember
60.
what Mindaugas told me. He said, I didn't have the chance to like really pull Imed. He lost on fouls. I just wanted to show him how strong we are, that he should stay away from this class. I was like, oh my God. So left arm, the final was Engin Terzi versus Jan Gabor from Slovakia.
Yeah, young Slovakian.
Yeah.
I believe it's a surprise to see him in a top three
Yeah.
with such a name. So
Yeah.
congratulations to Jan.
Yeah.
I have been in Slovakia. He's a student of Ljubomir Jagnešek, and year or two ago we did some training together with Jan, and he's growing. I have to say he's much better probably than he was.
That's
He's still young.
big surprise, but a great performance from him. On the right arm, it was Tarasait, and we finally saw what we wanted to see in Worlds: Engin versus Tarasait.
Yeah.
I think that if that would have been Vendetta, that would have been the best Vendetta. The way that Mindaugas handled Engin, knowing that Engin is so strong, so technical, and he will find the weakness in you.
We were talking a few episodes ago how this match could go, and I believed Engin will win because of his hand control, because of his back pressure, and actually he was in control, but he couldn't finish. It was so close.
Mindaugas, on the first, he gave up his wrist, and then he got back his wrist. On the second, he felt that we were talking in after party. He said, like, I don't need my wrist to beat him. So he felt like this. He pulled his elbow back, stayed on the pad, and just crazy. Mindaugas right now, the surprises that he's doing.
Mindaugas was second in the worlds after Makaro, beating him once in the final, so it was really close. And now he's number one in his Zloty Tur. He is a top guy in 70 kilos. He is a guy to beat. And can Engin do this? Yes, he can. But this time Mindaugas was better.
Yeah.
Again, of course, there are some Engin have some injury problems, but still, Engin did great again. So no one else could give Engin a close match. He beat everyone else easy. It was just Tarasaitis who.
And Tarasaitis beat everyone easier, even easier.
They met first in the first round, fresh against fresh. Engin took Tarasaitis' wrist. Again, he couldn't finish him.
So it's.
I would love to see arm fight format from them.
Yeah, that would be really interesting.
Yeah.
So.
It's actually sad when we talking about arm fights and also arm fights. It's always big attention for heavyweights and we see usually super heavyweights in arm fights.
Most of these lightweights can give more even fights to each other. Yeah. If there's not someone who's too overpower, like you cannot put Jacques versus 80 kilo guy. That's gonna be destruction. But you can put Terzi versus Tarasaitis, and it's gonna be fun match.
If you talk about this quality, arm wrestling quality, and the performance and table, those lightweights, middleweights, this could be great. If we take, for example, UFC.
Yeah. So some of the biggest names.
McGregor, Khabib in a boxing, Mayweather, Pacquiao. Those not are heavyweights, and that's a quality. And I hope arm wrestling will learn from that.
Because they're always pushing the heavyweights. But
because those lightweights can be.
There's a lot of money in lightweights.
Same interesting. It could be really good matchups.
The Tarasaitis will have super match in Moldova now against Daniel Prokopchuk. So we'll see how that goes.
After some 4 weeks.
Oh, yeah, something like that.
In 15 December.
15 of December. So for 78, there's not much. So this was one of the biggest and more even classes, in my opinion. So the talent there was crazy. With left arm, Alijan Murato, who was world champion on 80 kilo class, and on right, David Samushia, who was world champion on 75 kilo class. So they were really dominant. They didn't get into much of big matches.
It was a very strong class with
really
this year's world champion Armenian Brezhina class with left arm.
Vladimir Maurov.
With Mayorov from Germany.
We can just
who won in Moldova with left arm with Murato. It was really good class and Murato was better.
Yeah, Murato was really strong. Samushi was. We will talk about Samushi a little bit later, but it was really good class. So 86 left arm, Salavat Kadyrov.
Dominance.
Oh my God! And watching 86, we didn't know what's gonna happen in open class, but he was really strong, really dominant in a really good class.
We haven't seen him pulling in a WAF in World Armwrestling Federation Championships. I think he's pulling just in professional events.
Yeah, he's more of. I follow him on Instagram and I saw a lot of stories. So he's pulling in Russia quite often. I saw about 2 weeks ago, but it was right arm. He was in finals and open class on some local matchup versus Makarov. After Makarov, he lost there, but we never expected that left arm is wow.
Yeah, his left arm is much better.
Yeah, so there were again 526 people.
In 86, it was 36 with right arm.
Yeah,
probably it's the same with
the full 36 and 26.
Yeah, it was 25, a huge class with right. It was a huge class. And
so with right arm, some less known Russians, Vadim Alenenko, Eldar Bubenko. You know, there's a lot of talent in the world. And Zloty brings out some of the guys because if you don't see someone on world or European championship, you need to know that Russians have really hard nationals, and only first two can go for each arm.
It's not easy even like you should be first two in some smaller regional or even in some city. Then first two best of those get to this regional, and after when you are in top two, you get to this national championship.
Whereas again
you have to be in top two to get to Europe, and so this bracket this it's
really
system.
hard for them to get out, but there are a lot of athletes who are there who on this level just had a bad day, and you never see them, and this is why they sometimes on Zloty they come out and they just, oh my God, they're so strong, so from out of nowhere. But it's not like nowhere. They are there. They're just not always have the opportunity to go to Europe or Worlds.
Yeah.
So on
next 95.
95 was Prudnik easy.
Not easy. Left
not with
right arm.
With
left arm.
Yeah.
It was Krasimir Kostadino against Evgeny Prudnik. Kostadino won in qualification, and Krasimir was unusually actually in this season with left arm he's going more for top roll. We know always Krasimir as a great inside, great hook arm wrestler.
Did you talk with him after?
I did.
He got injured.
Not injury. He's just also especially training left arm for top roll more, and he said no, he's working more for top roll, and so he has lost again some ability in the inside, but it works for him, and he beat Prudnik in qualification. I think he lost one in a final. He lost one, and again in a second rematch he won. So left arm. Krasimir Kostadino, right arm, Prudnik was dominant. It was good names. It was Krasimir again. It was Kochak from Turkey, and interesting thing is that Prudnik was so dominant that Kostadino and Kochak even didn't went to open class. I think mostly because they felt that they can't do anything against Prudnik, but maybe Prudnik was just so good.
Yeah. So 105 kilos. So left arm, Alan Makiev. The weirdest thing happened in final. His opponent Serhiy Kalichenko is I cannot speak his last name.
Sergey from Ukraine.
Yeah, Sergey from Ukraine. He broke his arm. I never seen anything like it in finals in A bracket. Someone breaks his arm. It was really weird. We hope for fast recovery for him. But it was weird because there was no dangerous position.
It's looked more or less safe position, and it's not happening too often for such class arm wrestlers. It's more possible in some beginners tournament.
It's not on Zloty Tur, you know. In final, it's crazy.
In world championships, in a Zloty Tur, in those high level events, it's not happening often. Bone is getting stronger when you train correctly, and after a few years of practicing arm wrestling, it's usually not happening. But
so 105 was really tough class as well. Right arm, the winner Sandris Šedis from Latvia.
Biggest I would say biggest surprise of regular tournament.
I would say maybe on the right arm, Kadyrov on left arm, but of course for us the biggest surprise was Sandris.
Product of Latvian arm wrestling, my students. So product of our training system, and we are really proud that Sandris won 105 kilo class. It was surprise for me. It was even bigger surprise for him as well.
Yeah, we were surprised. There were days when everything clicks, and everything clicked. If you look at his matches, he just when the referee said go, he starts. So he did amazing starts, side, back pressure, pronation, wrist, everything was on point, and we were not believing what's going on. Jans is like, pinch me, am I sleeping? Is this real life? Sandris did amazing. We really don't understand what happened there, how he was so amazing, but even winning on 105, we didn't know what's going to happen next, and we're going to talk about open a little bit later. But Sandris Šedis dominant.
Yeah, he beat Alan Makeyev in a final.
In qualification, he beat him in finals. Alan did some moving in referee's grip. That's how he lost, but still extremely dominant. 105 plus. So. Not a lot of tough guys, but Dmitry Silayev on left arm.
With left arm, Dmitry Silayev was dominant. He won. He won class with, I wouldn't say with ease, but he was dominant with left arm.
With right arm, he had dislocation of his shoulder in a match versus Liashchuk or something. So he dislocated his shoulder. We were again talking in after party, and we had some people showing us pictures how it looks there. So we're hoping again for him for soon recovery. But Georgi Liashchuk.
With right arm, it was very even class with Silayev, with Liashchuk, with Farid Usmanov or Farid Osmanli, and with Aslanov from Azerbaijan, and other Russians.
22 people there.
Sergei Patrikeyev. We haven't seen him for maybe 7-8 years in arm wrestling table.
Usually the heavyweight classes are not as big.
Yeah.
Now it's completely different. It was 22 people, 25. But again, one of the reasons is because all the superstars are in Vendettas.
Yeah.
And when we did the previous episodes, we were talking about this. This is really good.
Yeah.
This is because there's a lot of people who stays in shadows, and a lot of people now had the chance to compete and win Zloty Tur like Evgeny Prudnik did. So let's talk a little bit about open. So
if we're talking about open class, that's again with heavyweight. Question is how high is this level of heavyweights with right arm? Yeah. There were top 3 podium, 78 kilo class, 105 kilo class.
95.
And 95. So
no one from
supers were on a podium in open class.
Yeah.
And of course, it's there were really tough fights in a regular class, and they were tired maybe. But with right arm, first fight. Sandris Shedis
versus
Super's first place from Russia, Leshchuk. Sandris beat him. Also in first round, 86 kilo class winner from Russia. What was the name of Russian 86 kilo class first place?
on right arm.
Right arm.
Right arm. Vadim Alenko.
Vadim Alenko.
Yeah.
Vadim fresh against fresh. Okay, not fresh. It's after regular. Yeah, but he beat Farid Osmanli, who is a legend in arm wrestling.
And
so this level of middleweights, level of lightweights are really high. David Samushia, third place in overall class. He's last 3 years world champion in 75 kilo class. He's a champion of 78 kilo class, and he's in top 3 in open class.
I think this is the only other time after Poland Shock when they allowed someone from 78 to compete in open class.
And he did really damage to class. He beat almost all heavyweights. And it's not because he's in top 3 because he's lucky.
He only lost to Sandris and he only lost to Prudnik. So again, Sandris did fantastic job there, winning the first fight against the heavyweight champion. Again, everything clicked for him. He used everything. He won. The toughest fight was against Samushia.
Yeah.
We never seen Sandris like sit in a hook and really like beat someone from deep. And somehow magically he worked out his way. He's extremely talented, and we see bright future for him. So we're really happy that Latvians are growing and still continuing being the top guys in the sport.
Yeah, but with right arm in open class, Yevgeny Prudnik was unstoppable.
Yeah, he was too much.
So good, no one even stopped him. He won easy his
quite,
weight class.
Quite
he won.
But he's also was, I think, strongest there was.
Yeah.
Being there. With left arm, Dmitry Silayo.
Yeah.
And second was Salavat Kadyrov.
Again, 86 kilo class arm wrestler. Second place in open class. Yeah. And what names he beat? He beat Krasimir Kostadinov.
He beat Prudnik.
He beat Prudnik twice. Yeah. He beat Prudnik twice to be in a second place in open class. 86. So if we're talking about this quality and strength and pound for pound strength.
Yeah, those are the top guys there.
That's why we're talking that organizers don't need to be afraid to make arm fights for lightweights, for middleweights. Yeah. This quality is great.
I think if they would do again, so when we talked with Igor, he said that he takes the model that he's using now is WWE, so it's professional wrestling and also UFC, and they did fantastic job this year, and this was one job when they started doing these things. So I think they're gonna go to this way where they do these top 8 tournaments, not only for heavyweights, but for let's say 78 kilos.
That's a plan of future.
Yeah, and that would be really
top
good.
8 for every class, right arm, left arm.
Because now most of the guys are thinking like, I want to be on that top level, but I need to be heavyweight to do it. You know, and when you like me and you're short and you cannot get bigger, so what can you do? Nothing. So now it's going to open up doors for a lot of different people, and it's going to create an interesting arm wrestling system. Yeah. So I think this is for this episode. So sorry guys, we didn't take any questions, but as you see, there were a lot of stuff we needed to talk about.
Yeah, there was question why Yanis is not pulling this year in a WAF, in Europe, in Zloty.
Next year.
As always. Next time.
Next time, yeah.
No, but I really get some motivation in a Zloty Tur. I really get some good energy and it's a positive doping in this world, good understanding, and I will be back on the table again.
Yeah, I can't wait too. So one more time, please like videos. I'm gonna put out so much interviews that we did. If it's gonna be on Russian, I'm gonna do subtitles. If you have a chance, I did post on community tab. You can go to my channel right now and check the community tab, and there's a chance how you can add subtitles to any video. So if you're someone who speaks Spanish or Polish, you can add Polish or Spanish subtitles under any video. If you you just need to do it if you speak English and Polish. So any support would be amazing. Thank you guys.
About this English and Russian, none of those languages are our mother language, so be patient. Don't be so strict. We are learning, and sometimes we speak English, and right after that we need to speak Russian, and it's always funny for us as well. Listen after that how it sounds, but we are trying, and so we are trying to bring some good information for you. So
the most important thing is we're not just talking. We're trying to bring interesting stuff, as Jan said, to you guys. So not everyone understands it because some people are just special, but most of you understand that we're trying our best and we're continuing to improve. So stay strong and love arm wrestling.
Take care. Stay strong.